What's up, everybody? It's your boy Dave Mo Flips, Team Us 100%. You already know. You know. If you don't know, you need to hit that subscribe button and get down. So, here, check this out. Again, times are rough, right? Can't pick up no cars. This is me. I'm bidding on this car. I've been outbid. Now, I have a strategy for these types of things, but let's get into the vehicle right now. So, what I end up doing is, we'll see here. Engine runs rough. Not a big deal. I'm not overly concerned about it. But understand that because with ACV that it's a green light and the engine runs rough, and you know what? I'm going to do a video that goes over all the ACV stuff. With it running rough, you no longer have the warranty on the motor. Okay, so let's go down here and let's listen to it because I did not even listen to it. I kind of been slacking, so let's listen. I have no problem with this. I have no problem with the way that sounds. All right, so 127 on the clock. It's the 5-cylinder base model. It's a little bit older. It's an '04 S60. This thing gets probably about 25 miles to the gallon, which again, for what I'm doing, okay, I'm looking for quick flips right now. My game plan is going. Now look at the photos, guys. As I'm talking, excuse me. So my game plan is to buy cars, good cars, as cheap as possible. It should always be the game plan. It's always been my game plan. But I want my final number to be under $3,500 when I add tax, title, and registration to it. Okay. This car is clean. The paint looks good. You have to keep in mind, we're not looking at a 2021 vehicle. We're looking at an '04. So if I'm able to list this car for $2,500 and get it gone after tax, title, registration, we're probably only looking at about $3 grand, $3,200, which for me, where I am, is the sweet spot. When you're dealing with cars like this, you don't have to worry about the market. Cars are only going to get so low. Like, you're never going to say, oh, can you pay me to take my car? I'm sorry, can I pay you to take my car? It's never going to get like that. Guys, I have an awesome video coming out to show you guys how to make all this grayish black, what should be black, to come back. So you can see right here, there is a tear on the seat. I'm not overly concerned about that. Nothing crazy there. The crazy things with Volvos, this down here on the seat bolster, the mechanic part of it, that is always bad. Like, they always break. So the fact that this one's not broken and it's broken here is kind of crazy. But again, and you guys know I love the Volvos. You could see that the carpet is dirty. The seats are dirty. A quick little detail will get this thing back up to par. Back seats look really good. Really good. And again, Volvo's known for, in my opinion, I've bought a ton of them, so I think I'm okay to say this. They have really good leather. What they don't rip, even though this one's ripped, they don't usually rip, but they crack. And I can show you guys how to repair that as well. Looking, you know, yeah, continue to look at this car. When you're at the dashboard photos, what you want to do is look at the gas. So they ran that thing on E, check engine light. But we know that it's holding temp. So we're at photo 23. I just want to see how much time we have left here. So we still got about 2 minutes. The bid is still the bid. Let's go up to where were we over here. So we'll continue to look. 127. That's beautiful mileage for what I want to do. Car's clean. It's really nice when you clean those up too, guys. When you're cleaning a car and you have a nice clean spare tire, for some reason people like it. Motor, engine bay, not a big deal. If you guys seen videos in the past where I've cleaned them, nothing really to it. Again, I'm a car dealer, not a detailer. So for me, I don't want it to look detailed, but I want it to look clean, which in my opinion presents like the car has been maintained. So when you're looking at two cars, one has a clean engine bay and one has a detailed engine bay. As a buyer, I want to go with the one that's a clean engine bay, because in my head, I'm like, okay, this has been cleaned. When I look at a detailed engine bay, it almost sets off a red flag, or should set off a red flag that you're trying to hide something, potentially an oil leak. any sort of anything, right? How the car was maintained, etc., etc. So I don't know what the little white thing sticking out is, but at any rate, going through these photos fairly quickly because I want to get back to the auction. It looks really good. It looks like it was probably a Florida car. Let's get into this. So it's a P420. I'm really not even concerned with that. Let's see. VIN number, 2 sets of keys. 1 key is jammed up. Probably wouldn't even show that key to anyone when they're taking the car out. And again, all this gray, black we could take care of. Little dent there, little PDR, take care of that. If I even went that far, right? Like, I mean, how far are we going to take it with this car? You could spend days getting this thing up to par, but you're still only going to get a certain amount of money. This car, and it's located right here in Tampa, so I don't have to spend any money transporting it. That's broken, but you could probably get that from the junkyard fairly quickly. And again, that's if you even went that far. This is coming up. That's nothing. It's some crazy glue. Couldn't, not crazy glue, but you know what I'm saying, like adhesive. Whoa. Almost lost it there, but that is my strategy right there, guys. You just seen it. So I'll put the bid in, and then I'll just wait till like the very last couple of seconds and put it in. My train of thought behind this is I don't want to put in my bid right from the beginning, and someone now has time to think about it. They're doing their research. Oh, you know what? Maybe the car is worth a little bit more than that. Sometimes you have to get out of here and then go back into it to change, to see if anyone put a bid on it. So it keeps them on the fly, right? So now I'm going against people where like, damn, dude, should I put $1,200 on it? I don't know. They're doubting themselves, right? I just press them. Now, we are pretty close to where I'm going to go on this car. So we may end up losing it, but I just wanted to show you that you still could and we'll watch it to the end. You still could potentially get cars. Let's see. So they want $2,000 for their car. They're crazy. You know, I'm looking to sell it for 25, but that doesn't mean that we can't negotiate a deal. And, you know, I'll keep you posted on it. But again, back to what I was trying to say to you. And we can watch other cars too at the same time. So this Acadia is pending at $1,200. The 4Runner, the 13 4Runner, 83, 51. I mean, you guys can see what it is. That 2011 Corolla, if there's no announcements on it, for $5,900, I think that's a good financing car. This 2013 Volkswagen Passat is scaring me because I just picked up a 15. I was hoping to get $7,000 for it. Wholesale, let's see. The Escape, I don't know. This CC I looked at, it's got a bad engine if I'm not mistaken. This Infiniti yesterday hit $4,500. So what they did was they started at 45, hoping that they could get a little bit more out of it. And I get their train of thought there. That Camry, I don't even know. It's looking good. So anyway, guys, what I'm trying to do is when I'm bidding on cars, specifically on ACV, you already have the countdown clock, right? So I want to put my first bid in there, kind of put a little drop of blood in the water. Okay, boom, I'm in there. And plus with the setup that we have here, it's the first person who bids, that's your car to the end of the auction, okay? So with that being said, what I try to do is I'll get my bid in, boom, I'm done. I got my first $50 bid in. So I'll do a $50 bid, you know, $950, $1050, $1150, $55.50, whatever. And I'll just let it play out, okay? I'll continue to let it play out to the very end. Now, once we get into that last minute, that's when I'm going to start bidding at 50s, okay? Now, I've dragged, if you guys watched the video with the F250 or 350 I did, we had that dragging out for at least an additional 5 to 10 minutes within that 1 minute. So we were able to take a 20-minute auction and make it a half-hour auction. And you could tell that I was bidding against one person, and they ended up outbidding me. Because again, everyone has their cutoff point. The way I sell cars is different than the way you sell cars. If you see more value in a car, that's why you're able to spend more money on it. For instance, if I had buy here, pay here set up, I may have went a little bit harder on this car, knowing I'm going to make all that money back with the buy here, pay here end, right? So that's why you'll never hear me say, oh, they paid close to retail. How are they making money? They don't know what they're doing. No, the truth is I don't know what they're doing. They know what they're doing. I don't know what they're doing, guys. And you had to keep that in mind. You know what I'm saying? So I'll keep you posted as to what transpires with this car. Look, they already dropped it down to 18. I think I'm at 11 right now. With fees, I'm probably at like 12. If we could get this thing, sealed up for, I don't know. We'll see what happens when they call. I'm sure they're gonna be calling me shortly. We got a new lady in, and we'll see how she negotiates. We used to use this guy named Phil with ACV. Phil was aces. Let me tell you this right now. I was able to deal with Phil, no problem. I told the guy what I wanted, and he was like an animal. He was able to get with his people. He had a lot of connections. So the way it works is we have a rep. His name is Phil. He's in New York, Buffalo, New York. He would call me up and say, "Hey, Dave, you're the high bidder on this car. Your bid is, I think it's 1100. Your bid's 1100. They're countering at 2, but they dropped it to 18. What do you want to do?" I'm like, "What am I into it right now, fees and all?" And let's just say he's like, "Look, you're in it right now for 1250. I'm like, "Listen, let's button this deal up at like 1300. What he'll do is he'll call the seller's agent, okay? And because he has good contacts with him, he's like, "Look, man, let's just do this. Let's make this deal happen. They get to sell a vehicle. You get commission on the vehicle. I get my little bit of bread from the car, and everyone is happy." Okay? So he was really good about that. So now we have a new person. Her name is Mary, and I haven't used her yet in terms of negotiating for vehicles. It's going to be interesting to see if she could pull off those same connections that he was able to pull off. Because remember, guys, with sales, here's the deal with sales, guys. If you're not a people person and you're not good at communicating and building relationships, people aren't going to necessarily be willing to make the best deals with you. I don't want to make the phone call. This person's a douchebag. I don't care. Whatever. I rerun it. We already got the pictures, so the work is already done. And that just happened. So when you're in sales, you want to make connections. You want to be a person of your word. They want you, when your name comes up in a conversation, for me, for instance, okay? Here's what I like about myself, okay? Number one, I'm a man of my word. If I say that we could do it, we could do it, all right? That's number one. Number two, you always know where I stand. You do not have to like nor agree with my position. But what you will do is know that is my position. There's no guesswork with what I'm going to do. Hey, I did this deal. D said it was no good. He said it was garbage. Blah, 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 blah. I don't tell people, "Oh, great buy. That's an excellent buy." No, if it was a great buy, I'll tell you, "Man, that's a great buy, in my opinion. Here's why I think it's a great buy." Or if I'm like, "Yo," like, so for instance, I can show you right now. Check this out. This is a vehicle that someone just now purchased here, okay? And you could see that they want it for $33.50. So they're probably into this thing with shipping and all for roughly, let's do the math right now. Let's see. We'll go back to the details. I apologize. The shipping on this car was $329. So let's just say $350. So you're at $37 plus fees. So you're close to $4,000 on this vehicle, okay? It is a Yukon. I know you guys think it's me. It wasn't me. I love Denali's, but again, when you're in a situation like this where you're repping, everybody is watching what you're doing, right? And I'm watching what they're doing. Let's not front. I would never have spent $4,000 on this car. Never, ever, ever, ever. So, I simply said to the guys, like, "Oh yeah, see, you picked up the Denali. I could see it needs paint." Now, I'm looking at the photos. I'm like, "Man, the interior must be mint on this car, right? It has to be mint because it needs paint. Like, what else would make it a $4,000 vehicle? Unless we're going to send it up north." So if we're sending these vehicles and again, it needs a headliner, the seat's messed up, the steering wheel's jacked up. That looks great. That side looks great, aside from being dirty. So everything else looks wonderful. Let's say what it is. It looks really good. So with that being all said, I asked, like, what was the train of thought here? Like, what are you thinking? He was like, "Oh, well, it's so slow right now. I just thought that we would just buy anything we can." I'm like, no, you're doing it backwards. Things are slow right now, so you want to steal everything. You wanted to get this truck for well under $2,000, right? But then again, there's an ask for every seat, and he may get the money. Now, in my opinion, I would probably be saying to myself, how can I get this car to the Rust Belt? It's 4-wheel drive. Winter's coming. If you know, last night they just got slammed with the early snow. 2 months early, they got killed with a snow front, all right? Like snow everywhere up there. So I'm thinking in my head, well, how can I get this up there? Do I have someone in Oklahoma? Do I have someone in Michigan? Who do I have? Where do I, like, I know my people, they're in New York, right? So for me, I could say to my girl, hey, babe, do me a favor. She got family in New York too. Take this car up there, drop it off at my people's house, or go visit your family. When you're done, drop it off with my people, and then I'll pay for the flight for you to come back. Boom. So she gets a vacation. She gets to see her family. She gets to see my family. And then she's dropping the car off to my people, and they're going to sell it for me. Once they sell it, I'll get my bread. I'll hit them off. Of course, my girl lives with me, stays with me. So, what I have, she has. It's never a problem with that. And she also got a free vacation. Not to mention, there could be, and you're going to talk to your accountant about this, because in this situation, she would be, technically speaking, an employee or at least a subcontractor of my business. And this is a business move. All the fuel going up to New York, her boarding, her food, all those things would all be considered tax write-offs. Again, you want to talk to your CPA and you want to know exactly how to do it, okay? Don't take my word for it. This is why we pay accountants to interpret the law for us. So if I was doing that, I would have called my girl up and be like, hey, this is my plan. How should I work this? Because I'm footing the bill for everything, but yet I'm going to be in Florida. She's doing the work. Okay, well, give her a credit card. Give her one of your business credit cards. Let her pay for the fuel with the business credit cards. Anytime she goes out to eat, because she's got to eat, right? It's an 18-hour trip. New York, Florida to New York. What are you looking at to get to your people? Babe.
What?
Florida to New York, where you're at, how long?
15 to 18 hours, depending on traffic.
15 to 18 hours. And then from you to me is 6, right? To where my people are at, about 6. So it's an 18-hour trip to where she is, and then a 6-hour trip to where I am. So you're looking at 24 hours. 24 hours on the road with a truck like this is going to use a lot of gas. She's got to eat, okay? She's got to eat. So she's going to stop at restaurants. She's going to need a hotel room. If she's got the kids with her so that they could take turns driving, it all adds up. But again, that's what I would do. And that's where I would justify paying $4,000 for this car. Because I know once I get a Florida car up in New York, where now it's rust free, I could show you all the pictures. Boom. Now I got the money. So, I'll end up putting that car out there in New York probably for about $8,000. And again, there's no comps out there, right? Because I'm the only one out there with a Florida car. FYI, guys, if you got, if you want to do some business and you're up north and anywhere in the Rust Belt, and you want to holler at me about buying rust-free cars, and let's get something going where, you could be on one end, I'm on the other end, and we figure out the money situation and things start to roll well, I have no problem jumping on a plane, going out there, meeting you, eat dinner, break bread, bring my lawyer with me, and we'll draw up contracts the whole 9 yards. FYI, I'm a dude who doesn't just willy-nilly trust people. If we're gonna do business, we're gonna do business, and it's gonna be on the level. That's just the way it is with me. You got a lot of people shaking hands. Back in the day, I believed in shaking hands because I was a different individual, and your handshake meant something, and I could do something if you messed up. But right now, where my life is, I can't be that dude no more. I have to be a guy who's like, yo, we got to go to court. I can't see you in the street. There's just too much at stake right now. I got my girl, I got the fam, got the house, I got a lot of stuff going on. So I got to be good. But any which way, let's check back real quick to see if they made another counter. So the same guy bought these top 3 cars. This Lincoln was a red light for $1,600 with $197. You guys already seen this one. And this Focus, I did think was a good buy, but let's not even get into it because that's, what it is. So Action needed $1,800, and I never do anything through here. I always try to get the best thing with my rep. Anyways, guys, I appreciate you watching. If you watched it this far, I just wanted to show you that you still can get good cars for the low. Even at $1,800, you could probably, if it was $18 out the door, you could probably still squeak that out for $2,800. It's only $300 more. And even if I bought it for $18, I'm like, yo, you know what? Fuck it. I'll dump it for 25. I'm still looking at a $700 profit margin. And again, it's a low mileage car, good on gas, and that's what I'm looking for right now. You know, this XB right here is looking kind of good. You guys all know these Tauruses last forever, but let me tell you right now, I cannot sell a Taurus. Oh, look, there you go. It runs great. Engine problem, transmission problem. The problem with those Tauruses, look, they already reran this Passat already. Boom, right back on it. Fusions, I have a thing for Fusions, boy. The titanium Fusions, which I don't believe this is, and this one. So look at the wheels, guys. Look at the wheels. When you look at the wheels and you see spray paint and you see stuff like that, understand that this is something that you don't want to buy. Anyway, I'm out. All right, guys. So I just got off the phone now. Listen to my dog. My dog is wild. Look at me, you know what I'm saying? Coda. That's my boy. Anyway, yeah. So just got off the phone with ACV. I didn't even deal with Mary. It was really a fucktard named Tim who has zero like negotiating ability. So he was like, you know, where do you want to be at this car? And I told him, you know, 1,300, 1,400 tops out the door. And he was like, oh, this guy really doesn't like to negotiate. I was like, well, fuck him. Let him keep his car. You feel me? Like keep your car. For a guy who doesn't like to negotiate, you came out the gate saying $2,000 and then dropped to 200, right? So don't sit here and tell me that you don't negotiate, okay? Because you negotiated with yourself. Rule number 1, never negotiate with yourself, okay? So you did it. I'm at 1,400, and the guy's like, oh, well, I don't know, this, that, the next thing. So me being me, okay, and I'm a no-nonsense individual, I simply said to him, fuck him. Tell him to rerun the car. I'll be the high bidder. I will continue to be the high bidder up to a certain point. And if nothing else, he can use me to raise the price of that vehicle. Because I'm going to bid to as high as I want, okay? So right now, they're going back and forth to see if they could do it. But I have really zero faith that they're going to close this deal down. And if I have to continue to use this individual to negotiate for me, I'm going to just request ACV give me someone else. I had one girl named Alyssa. She was amazing. I had Phil. Phil and Alyssa were like neck and neck in terms of like just their ability to get shit done, you know? But this guy, you could tell he filled out an application, got a job because times are hard, and doesn't. He's the type of guy who's like afraid to negotiate. You feel me? The type of guy's like, well, you know, I was thinking that maybe. Get the fuck. Listen, hey man, here's the offer. Man's got money now. You want to buy it now? Let's do this now. If not, rerun it. It's that simple. Rerun it. And I was like, well, he already ran it once, right? So he's only got 2 more runs. He goes, well, sometimes they could rerun it extra times if they want. Yeah, I get that. But the rule is you get 3, right? There are special instances where you'll allow someone else to run a car more than once. And I get that part of it. But stop. You should be on my side. You work for me, right? Right now in this situation, you don't physically work for me. I don't pay you, but you're my representative. If my lawyer did that to me in court and was like, oh, well, hey, this, that, you're not my lawyer no more. You out. Stay tuned. I'm going to post a whole video. I'm going to tell you what we did, if we got this car or not.
That's my best friend. That's my best friend.